Good afternoon. It's Friday afternoon, April 5th. There's about almost 2.5 hours left in the trading day, and I wanted to do my weekend report while the market's open. It just allows me to give you insight into how you can use HGS during the market hours to get a feel for what's going on. And this theme today is determining the underlying structure of the market intraday. Now, always remember the market is your teacher. We're going to be talking about that as I go through this. As always, any stock index or ETF mentioned in this presentation is not a recommendation to buy or sell all trading strategies or use at your own risk. You can get a free trial of the software at www.highgrowstock.com. You'll see the link to get the trial. You don't have to enter a credit card. But if you do try it, you should use it because those 30 days go quickly. There is quite a bit to learn. I have several videos out there to get you started, but you should go ahead and make use of those 30 days. Well, today as I'm doing this, we're having quite a reversal from yesterday. You can see that the market actually gapped open 0.33, the intraday gap, and it's trading near the high of the day. This is the Invesco QQQ, which is a proxy for the NASDAQ 100. You can see how strong the weekly chart has been, and it's really been choppy recently. I'm going to see if I can get a rectangle here and draw this around here. The market really hasn't gone anywhere for, well, this is over a month ago. Let's say about 5 weeks it's been chopping around here. And there's a lot of volatility recently, and it makes for some scary days. For example, yesterday, the candle, it gapped open and closed near its low on heavy volume, and it looked like it could be the beginning of a downtrend, but the futures were up this morning, the market gapped open, and it's been gaining momentum ever since. So this is the cues. We want to really see what the market structure is intraday, and I've got some scans which are going to help us there. First of all, I'm going to go into my designer. I'm going to go to the user groups. I'm going to go to the market analysis user groups. We're going to go to the major ETFs and ETNs. I'm going to click through to the warehouse, and then I need to go into my top-down process scans, 2024 warehouse views, and go into the scorecard views this is the one I want. Top-down process for ETF analysis. And what I'm looking for is scorecard. It's number 1A under top-down process views for ETF analysis. Scorecard ETFs intraday. And I'm going to bring this up to the top. And this is the way it's looking today. Gold miners are up 3.54%. Silver is up 2.41. Natural gas, which has been weak for a long time. Look at that relative strength rank of 8. And gold. These are the leading ETFs today. Now, here's the USO. I'm using that for the ETF, and you can see that it's also up and trading at 99.56% of its daily range. If I scroll over here to the right, you can see how close these are when I resort on the percent to the 52-week high. The commodities are right at their 52-week highs, or slightly down as of last night. Gold, oil, emerging markets, and so on. But this is not a good sign when oil has broken out like this. Now let me minimize this, and you can look at the weekly chart over here. It's not quite up to this point right here. I'll put my crosshair on with an alternate C, but it is breaking or getting close to breaking past or right at breaking past resistance here, and this is certainly not good news for the American consumer. Now I want to change charts. This is the weekly chart, but I want to change to this chart, which has the crossovers on it. This is a daily chart, and what I want to point out is that this chart with the 3-6 crossover is a great chart to look for entry points. With the crosshair on, you can see that the VPOC turned positive. There were pocket pivots on that day, and the same time, or on the same day, there was a gap up on the oil stocks, and it came down and tested the 6 crossing down, or the 3 crossing down through the 6. Didn't happen and held, but there are all kinds of opportunities looking for buys and sells just using the 3-day and 6-day exponential moving average crossovers, very short-term indicators. I don't use any of the so-called traditional indicators like MACD and RSI relative strength, internal relative strength, or Wells Wilder relative strength is what I should say, because I don't think you need them, because what I'm looking for is all based upon price and volume. So what do we have for price and volume here? Well, VPOC is a price and volume indicator. Pocket pivots is a price and volume indicator. 3 crossing the 6 is a price indicator, both up and down. So these, in my opinion, are the only things you really need. Now look at this chart right here. It tells me that the 3 crossed the 6 16 days ago. 0 is the crossover day, and that happened right here. I'm just using oil right now, but let's go on to look at some of these other indexes. Let's look at the commodity index. Now this pulled back. You can see the pullback here, but then it went again. It tells me 5 days ago that, let me bring up an arrow here. Right there it says 4. Remember, the crossover day is always 0, and here's where it happened right here. This is today, but this was a pullback and an opportunity to buy this ETF. Before that, that opportunity was right here. On this day, the VPOC was positive. There was a pocket pivot on the following day, a volume pocket pivot. This is why I don't need those other indicators, because everything I really need to see is right here in front of me. And these charts and all this information is right here in these columns. So what's the market structure today? Well, if I sort, I need to go back here. I need to close that so I can go back. If I sort on raw combo, this combo rank is wider spread on higher volume, demand intraday, and this shows me where the most demand is based upon both price and intraday range and volume. So this is today's market structure. The strength is gold miners, QQQ. That's why the futures are up 1.45%, because many of those are stocks that are in the QQQ. Now looking at these columns right here, you can see that there have been pullbacks on several of these ETFs. Bonds, Dow, and the Dow is up today, but it's pulled back 3 days ago. Let's just take a look at the Dow. And I need to go back to, no I don't, I've got it here in front of me. Okay, here's where the pullback occurred, right here on this gap down. And it's been going down. Big volume day yesterday, but we're getting a white candle in here today. But it is still down. Now let's look at the QQQ. It also went down right here on this day. If you look here at the 3 crossing the 6 on the histogram. And the VPOC was negative. Now, you wonder why there is a blue pocket pivot here on a down day. Well, it's because this candle closed as a bullish candle, and the volume was higher than any previous down volume over the past 5 days. So that's why this is blue. And it followed through here, and it gapped open here. It looked like it was going to be bullish, and then the Fed statement came out, and we have this day. But the structure of the market is really not broken yet. It certainly looked like it was going to be yesterday, but with the buying that came in today, we'll see how the market closes today. It could collapse again, but as of right now, this is holding up quite well. Also on this pocket pivot here, this is a blue bar because the close is greater than the open. That's part of these pocket pivots. As you can clearly see, it's a dangerous, choppy market which really has no sense of direction. If you look at the major trends here, this is a random walk calculation, complicated calculation, and I can't explain it to you. But anyway, no trend, no trend, no trend. Here we have the long-term trend up on the best fit. These are VPA trends. The medium's down and the short is down. So it's very hard to figure out what is going on in the market right now. But we're going to get some more insights here as I move along. I just wanted to start with these ETFs because this is a good way to get an overall feel for what's going on in the markets. Once again, it's right here, the major ETFs and ETNs. As far as the scorecard, it's under top-down process views for ETF analysis. And at the end of the day, use this one. Intra-day, use this one. And it gives you an instant read on what's happening based upon ETFs and ETNs. Now, I want to know what's going on in the market, and I don't want to spend a whole bunch of time doing that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to all securities by holding the alternate space bar down, and it's going to leave this major ETF, ETN, and it's going to go to all securities. And now I'm going to go up here to my quick pick warehouse views, and I'm going to go up here to my favorite daily prospecting scans, intraday. And we're going to go to the intraday money flow, stocks and industry groups. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to, I've got the updating on manual, so I'm going to do an F5 and update the prices. Okay, everything's updated. You can see I'm still in the scorecard ETFs, but when I bring that quick pick back to the front here, I'm going to go into the intraday money flow, and you can see that it shows up here. This raw combo sorts on the industry percentage price change 1 day. And what I'm looking at here, I'll break this up full screen. You can see that this pretty much corresponds to, at least part of it corresponds to the ETFs. The precious metal and mining stocks are going up. You can see this sort is on the industry percentage price change. Industrial automation, electrical power equipment, then medical, and then the precious metal and mining, biotech, and so on. So this gives me a quick view of what's happening in the broader market under all securities. And the money flow, there's 221 of these stocks that pass this filter. Now look what happens when I change this to the next one. This is the intraday demand. It's going to sort on a different combo. I'm going to click on that. We're sorted by industry now. When I go to this is a different combo rank, which is based on percentage price change and the percent volume and the range up. And I want to point out that every stock in here on the money flow, the intraday range is above 50. You can see some yellow here, but most of these are green. So what stocks are most in demand? Well, these are most in demand based upon the combo ranking as of right now. So I'm going to put this down here and put this back in place. And let's just look across here. This is a biotech, which is not surprising. It crossed down 3 days ago to the downside, but yesterday the volume was above average, the spread was wide, and the close was very high. VPOC has been down for 5 days. This has a relative strength of 97, and it's up 23% today, trading near the top of its range. The volume compared to its 90-day volume is over 200%, 224.6, after a 4.64% gap up. Let's just bring the stock up. You can see it's a cheap stock. I know that from looking right here, but forget about the price. We're looking at all this other stuff here, and it is a stock, like I said, it's up 23.77% today, getting an effort to rise. It's outperforming its group. The group's been flat, the biotech, but this one's outperforming because this green line is up. Now it's past midday, but this would have shown up early in the morning on demand as it was going up. Smart Sand, this is another cheap stock. Let me find something that's a little more expensive here, but these are all in the upper part of their range, as you can see, and they're up and the volume's above average. So let's look at this one. You can see that this one, A-Mark Precious Metals, crossed over 11 days ago. That same information, well, it's 10 days ago, well, 11 days ago, that same information is right here, and this is where the crossover occurred. And look at this, there's an effort to rise in VPA flags, also a pocket pivot, and also a volume point of control that went up. Yes, it hesitated after that, but it certainly didn't take this low out or this low, which is the low pivot. And today it's really on a run. You can see the weekly chart turned up right here. So it's on the move. And this is appearing today under the money flow in demand combo. Now, it's been higher today, and it was probably higher in this list too, as its range was up in the 90 percentile area. So we have 221 securities in here. And I'm going to bring up the spectrum analyzer. This tells you immediately what's in this, and as you can see, it's dominated by precious metal and mining, then biotech, and then some application software and so on. But this is based strictly on demand, so you can see the structure of the market with the money flow in demand. Now this is just the opposite. Down, there's only 109 down compared to 221 in. For these stocks to be down, the range has to be below 50%, and you can see that these are all red and yellow. So this is where some distribution's going on today. Now the sword here is industry percentage price change down 1 day, and you can see that this group is down. There aren't many groups that are down, but these stocks are down within the group. Let's go down to the next one. Intra-day supply. So this tells me the stocks that are most under pressure based upon my combo rank. And I'm not familiar with this stock. It's $13 stock. It crossed down 2 days ago to the downside. The VPOC was actually positive yesterday. It's got a high relative strength. Let's bring it up and take a look at it. You can see that it gapped open today, but it was immediately distributed. Well, not immediately. It went up a little higher, and now it's getting an up thrust bar after the move on a very strong day. So that's a stock that a potential short after this big black candle today. But, you know, the trends are still up, so it's better to short stocks that are already weak rather than trying to pick these up. But it's down today. Anyway, you can see how well that these filters and the combos do, looking for weakness and strength. Here's one that was way down yesterday, and it continues down. So what I'm pointing out here, here's industries down and here's supply. So you have demand, supply just based upon the stocks. If you want the industries sorted by, if you're sorted on raw combo, the industries up or industries down. Even though these industries are not down, these stocks are down within the industries. Now, I'm not going to go through all these. These are self-explanatory. If you want box stocks only, intraday demand, these are stocks that have consistent earnings growth. And here's an 853 stock. Yesterday's close was high, wide, very high. Crossover was yesterday. Let's take a look at it. Sloppy daily chart, but it's certainly moving up today. Here was a crossover day with an effort to rise. Pocket pivots, VPOC was also turned positive, and it's following through today. So this one is showing up now. I'm sure it was showing up a lot earlier in the day too. This is just the opposite, money flow out. You can see 33 up, only 10 down. Now these are stocks that are in the S&P sectors. This is sorted on the industry up and industry down, and now here these sector stocks are the ones that are showing demand. Constellation Energy, remember these are all in S&P sectors, so you're not going to get any cheap or very few inexpensive stocks here. This tells me that Constellation Energy is the most in demand based upon the combo ranking I put in here. It's up 5.13, trading at 92% of its range. Volume is 62% above normal. It's a utility. Let's look at it. This one was shaken out yesterday. Here's a low volume test because the volume is lower than the prior day, and buyers are coming right back into it. Look at the weekly chart here. Look at the relative strength. 95, Kirkpatrick is 98. Okay, Newmont Mining. We'll start with the weekly over here, but look at this. Here was a little pullback. And then here was the crossover with an effort to rise. VPOC was positive. Pocket pivots had already hit. Let's put this right here. There's the crossover day, pocket pivot day. VPOC was already positive, and look at it go. This is a group. You know this group is strong, precious metal and mining. And this one was performing along with the group until recently, and now it's outperforming the group. General Electric. They split up General Electric, and on the split you can see what happened. There's 3 different divisions now, I believe, and this one's been going up for a few days. The demand is showing up. It's a long way from the crossover because this was such a gap down, but still it's showing up here as a demand stock, and it showed up here as a demand stock right here too, and yesterday it did until the big sell-off. So these are all familiar names because these are sector stocks, and you can see which sectors are participating here. There's only 19 of them. Let's look at the out. Only 11. There aren't that many sector stocks that go into these stocks, so you're not going to have big numbers. And what's down today? Dayforce. I'm not familiar with that stock. But is it ever down? Now see, this is what I mean about shorting already weak stocks. This stock had crossed down here, and it just kept going down here with this distribution 3 below the 6. Okay, let's move on here. Now this one is a little bit different. It's the same thing, sector stocks, but I've also included ETFs in here. So if there's no industry and sector in here, that means it's an ETF. I did this because I wanted to see a mixture of stocks and ETFs, and you can see that the gold miners is up 3.54%, right below Constellation Energy. DuPont Mining is right in here. Here's silver. Here's gold. So this is just a way to get a quick read on demand and supply, including ETFs. Now this one is just not assigned to an industry yet. It looks like day. I'll take care of that. But here we have the TLT. You can see that it is down today. So an excellent way to get a read on the entire market and the ETFs. Now these are money flow in. I'm out of the sector stocks now, but I'm into stocks that have weekly options. And I'll show you this quickly. It goes to these custom groups here and a user group and pulls out stocks that are most active. Now these custom groups are here in this blue folder, options volume. It's accessing these two groups of stocks, which are updated monthly. So this is if you're an options trader, these views show you intraday demand and supply, and of course when the stocks crossed over, you can see that the ETFs are in here in addition to the stocks. So what's going up here? Oh, that's out. I'm sorry. That's Newmont Mining, the GDX, silver. So all of these stocks and ETFs are stocks that are trading actively in the options market also. Okay, let's take a look at GDX here. You can see I may have touched on this early, but here was a crossover, clear back here, and then a pullback, another crossover here, and it's taken off. Let's just quickly go over to the main here, GDX, and I want to see, look at all the open interest on these. This is 42 days out. When I do spreads, I like to go out to give spreads time to work. Yes, they move a little slower, but that works in both directions. But look at the open interest. Tremendous amount of open interest here. Let's say you're interested, and this is something that should have been done on the crossover, of course. But you hold down your control key. This is a 2-point wide spread, 33.35. Look at the risk profile. Right here is the current price. You'd be risking 95 with the potential of making 105 if you hold it to the end. Of course, you may want to risk 200, risking 285 here with the potential of making 315 at expiration. When I put these trades on, I usually put them in good till canceled with a 55% profit target. So, somewhere in here, if it gets there, it's filled because, as you know, the market turns around very quickly. But the reason I just came in here is to show you that these ETFs in here and the securities in here, these are liquid vehicles which you can trade options on. And this is weekly options, supply and demand, if you're looking for longs or looking for shorts. Now, this is money flow in, reply, or apply to the industry groups. If you want to do this, what I do is I rebuild indexes in groups. Do that again. And then you just click from the industry group, and it just shows you the industry group's percentage based upon the percentage price change one day. I don't use that too often, but notice that I put the intraday fields in here, so you can just change to the index group and see which of these stocks within the group are going up. Quite a few of them in this group. Anyway, I don't use that very often, but it's in here because it serves a purpose. And then if I go back to all securities, I can just go to 15 and 16 intraday stocks and groups, sorted on that, and these are strong, using a strong momentum combo, and it tells me what's going up today. You can see that this is a big number here. It's all of the securities that pass the basic filter. 2243 up and 1290 down. So it's showing me that the breadth is strong today, which I can see in the charts anyway. Okay, my point of all this is you can determine the underlying structure of the market. You can do it end of day, or you can do it intraday, and that's what these money flow filters are for. There's also most active in here, but I don't want to get into that today. But these are all very useful to see what's going on intraday in the market and to provide some potential trades for us. That's it. I'm going to leave it at that. Thanks for listening, and I hope that you see how powerful this program is. It lets us get right down into it and see what sectors are moving, what stocks are moving, what ETFs are moving, and so on, and how old the signals are. Once again, thanks for listening and have a good weekend.